Welcome back to this week's Snapshot 22W46A. Let's get started with the texture changes in this update. The texture on the left is from 22W45A when they introduced the block of bamboo, and on the right here we have 22W46A. There's some shading differences, and they look like they tinted the green a little bit more on top. Looks pretty good. The second texture change that they made comes to the bamboo plank, where they've now made it side facing to match that of like the other planks of wood that we have on hand. Not too bad. The next change to 1.20 is the Chiseled Bookshelf. We can now interact with the individual slots instead of having to interact with them sequentially. Let's see how that works. Alright, so if we target specific, let's see if it highlights. Okay, so that whole block is still highlighted. But let's check out number 3. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. We don't need 3 books in there. It's, again, the mechanic on this is based on the last slot interacted with. Let's get that out of there. We need an empty space here. Let's throw this away. Alright, so the last space interacted with was space number 3, but even though there's no books in there, it is now giving off a redstone signal of 3. This is interesting. Let's do 5. Alright, yeah. Oh, okay, did you see that? So we can do combinations of 4, 2, 6, all within the same bookshelf. When it comes to codes and door locks, this is perfect, especially when it comes to last interacted slot. Yeah, you can now do combinations with a single entity as opposed to maybe having a couple of these bookshelves and a couple of lines running. Yeah, now your code combination can be done out this way. However, I do feel that when the bookshelf is empty and it's still giving off a redstone signal is a bit confusing, but there you have it. Perhaps one of the new fun features is the piglin head coming to 1.20, as well as note blocks and mob heads in general being interacting together. Let's see how that works out. With the addition of skulk sensors and skulk shriekers, plenty of players on SMPs wandered around hiding these amongst people's bases, and now you can do so with heads, and this is going to be great. I mean, anytime you walk in and out, oh my goodness, so loud. Let's see what the other sounds sound like. When you add power to the dragon head, you see that the jaw moves up and down. They've just also decided to add the ear wiggle animation when you add power to the piglin head. The new piglin head may be a pretty rare item in the game since piglins don't survive in the overworld. You'll probably need to trap a bunch and then get a charged creeper into the nether where you can pop them. Incidentally, charged creeper spawn eggs are not in creative. But I hopped over here because there have been some mechanical changes to the light levels. Endermen, skeletons, and wither skeletons now spawn at a light level of 7 and below, as opposed to 11 and below. If you're curious how to check your light level without a mod, press the F3 menu, and on the left hand side you see a category called Client Light. I'm currently at level 6, and it's the block that you're actually standing in is level 6. And this block is level 7, level 8. 9, not the one you point to, so make sure you don't mistaken this one you point to, but it's the one that you're standing in. With feedback from the community, Mojang has reordered the redstone tab, as well as adding minecarts to the tool tab. And the next thing I want to talk about is parity. I mean telemetry. In the game menu under options, there will be a new telemetry data tab. Underneath this tab, it'll give you a description of what data is required for Mojang to collect. You are allowed to set this to all if you want them to collect additional data. This is what is optional. but if you turn it off, it will only collect what is required. Why the jab at parity? Mojang and Microsoft are already collecting this data from Xbox players through Bedrock Edition and are now bringing it to us here in Java. As always, I will leave a link in the description to the snapshot article where it goes over the telemetry data more in detail, but I'm sure you can find a lot more of the detail in the telemetry tab itself. It also goes over all the bug fixes that have been corrected, and there's nothing in there that I found particularly interesting, but there are plenty to read about. Thank you all for joining me for this snapshot video. I really appreciate you being here, and please hit that like button before you leave. It goes a long way and it means an awful lot. If you've learned something and you thought my content was great, consider subscribing. It's free, doesn't cost you a thing, and I really appreciate it. Thank you all again for being here. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.